relatively low-key, but that could be about to change. The first nightclub licence in 8 years has been granted to the proponents of a new venue dedicated to jazz, the first of its kind. In a bold move, the pair have sunk millions of dollars and years of planning into the club, which they hope will create a breeding ground for jazz musicians. Patrick Stack reports.
This was the frenetic scene just 3 days ago at Perth's newest night spot. A small army of builders has been battling to get the Ellington Jazz Club ready in time for this week's opening.
It started off at 100 miles an hour and it's gradually worked its way up to 1,000 miles an hour.
Behind the scenes, musicians have been busy fine-tuning their performances. One of them is Graham Wood, who came up with the idea for the club, the first of its kind in Perth.
I don't think Perth's a cultural wasteland. I think Perth just needs more opportunities for these type of venues that are a bit different and you know, cater to a different crowd, you know.
The club has been more than 2 years in the making, and the jazz pianist has done his research. He visited jazz clubs in Tokyo, London and New York to find out how best to run a WA equivalent. But it hasn't been all champagne along the way. Local residents have voiced concerns about the impact of transforming this heritage-listed building in Northbridge, an old Chinese laundry, into a nightclub. But co-owner Bernard Kong believes those concerns are misplaced.
As soon as you see the word nightclub, a lot of people immediately think teenagers drinking too much or taking drugs and being a bit too rowdy, but this is so not that sort of venue.
The Ellington has been awarded the first nightclub licence in Perth in 8 years, but the town of Vincent doesn't think it will spell trouble for local residents.
The sort of people that follow jazz, I don't think you're going to get the same sort of crowd as you would at other clubs.
Graham Wood is hopeful the club will appeal to a new generation of jazz players. The musician is also music director at the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts. He believes the Ellington will help WA produce and keep more quality musicians.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We really wanted to sort of provide a vanguard for the music. That's my first and foremost interest in doing this project.
There's such a large talent of jazz here in Perth, and they've got nowhere to apply their trade once they've graduated from, you know, their studies, and it just seems a bit ridiculous that there's nowhere for them to go.
It's a long-standing problem in the local jazz scene, with many musicians wishing the Ellington had been created sooner.
It would have been heaven, would have been amazing. But here we are, 2009, and it's finally arrived. It's about time that Perth, here we are in the 21st century, and it should have happened a long time ago, but I think it's maybe meant to be now.
After 2 years in the planning, the Ellington wasn't quite complete on opening night, but still pulled a crowd. The club's success will depend on its ability to lure international acts and strong crowds. Not everyone is totally convinced.
It's really hard to establish a live venue in Perth, to keep them going even when they are established, because live music is a tough way to go. But the advent of this, I think, is just a really great cultural addition. I alone have heard this lovely strain.
While some aren't sure that the Ellington will strike the right note, the punters at last night's opening seemed more confident.
Well, I think it's a wonderful addition to Perth's entertainment scene, and it's something that probably we've been looking for many, many years.
Perth's a little bit barren for me, and so this is it's an interesting starting point, and hopefully it's a sign of more things to come.
I think it'll just bring out a whole lot of people who wouldn't have usually come out and would have stayed at home listening to good music, and now they've actually got a place to go.
And that's Dateline for this week. We leave you with a change of pace from Fremantle folk rock band Dead Drift Revival. See you next Friday. Until then, good night.